far as I can tell. So first, here's the vote of the previous stream, right? So this is the vote of the stream where we were talking about garbage collection, right? So, and I have a bunch of marks in here. I have a bunch of marks, according to which I have to cut out everything, right? So I would expect to have even amount of marks, and as far as I can see, there is even amount of marks, right? So if this is 1 to 3, like from 1 to 9, this has to be the 10th one, right? So this is the 10th one. All right, so that means there's even amount of them. First thing we need to do, actually, we need to parse this CSV file, right? We need to parse the CSV file. So marcut py, so user bin environment python 3. Is that how we do this shit? Okay, so I think this is how we do this shit. Okay. So I think we need to import CSV. I don't quite remember. Python 3 help CSV. You probably have to import it first and then do help CSV. Okay, so let's actually read the documentation how to use this entire shit. I swear to God, I heard like a Discord notification and I don't even have a Discord opened up anywhere, so. You use Vim now? I've always been using Vim. What the fuck are you talking about? It's like the only editor that I know. Maybe it was a bad idea to open Discord because it's not in streaming mode, so whatever. Alright. So let's import this entire thing. Alright, and so where are we going to accept the input file? I think we need to accept the input file through the command line arguments of this entire thing, right? So it's going to be something like that. So if I remember correctly, you have to import sys, right? So, and I think it's something like sysargs, isn't it? Right? So can we just print sysarg? Is it argv? I think it's argv, right? So can I chmod plus x marcut, right? And if I try to run this entire thing, and if I try to provide more shit in here, okay, so here are all of the arguments that we want to have in here, right? So looks good to me, right? And if, for instance, the length of these arguments is less than 2, we're gonna throw some sort of an error saying that I don't know, can I just raise an error? Is there any like user exceptions in Python? Python user exception, right? Is there any way, like, if I have my own exception, can I just use something in here? So, okay, rise. You can just rise CLS. Oh, and it's just like different exceptions. I should be able to just raise an exception, right? So can I just raise an exception? Saying something like not enough arguments was provided. Not enough arguments were provided, I think. I think that's how we do that. I'm not sure if I want to actually go with the exception in here for some reason. Yeah, not enough arguments were provided. So maybe there is something like for illegal arguments, Python illegal arguments. You know what I'm talking about, like in Java. Which exception? Bad illegal arguments. Value error. Okay, so we can just throw a value error then. Why not? Value error. Is that what you're supposed to do in Python? I don't know. I'm not a Python developer, so yeah, looks good to me. Looks good to me. Okay, so the next thing we want to do, we want to treat this as a CSV file, CSV file path, It's going to be sys argv, and it's going to be 1. All right, and the first thing we want to try to do, we want to try to open that file. So can I just copy paste this entire shit? I think it's going to be easier to deal with if I just copy paste the code. Right, why write? To be fair, I don't know why Vim sometimes like just does weird stuff like that, but I mean, maybe it's because I'm in the TeamUX. Maybe that's precisely why. So I'm gonna just put this entire thing in here, and there we go. So what we need to open in here, we need to open the input file. So it's gonna be CSV file path. New line is nothing apparently. Delimiter is going to be space. I don't think the delimiter is going to be space in our case. I'm not sure if I actually need to specify the delimiter in this particular situation. You know what I mean? Because I'm just using the standard shit. Right, and I can just print the row like that. Yeah, there we go. This is not how we do that. All right, so it's going to be mark.py. And if I provide something that doesn't exist, it cannot open the file. That is perfect. But if I provide something that does exist, in fact, we managed to parse all of this shite. Interestingly enough, as you can see, there's like another thing in here. I don't quite understand why. And there's also empty line. Oh yeah, this is because my font was a little bit too big. So is that because, yeah, there is like an extra thing in here. I have no idea why it was imported like that, but it was imported like that. So hello everyone who just joined. How are you guys doing? Can we have a semicolon counter command? Sure, implement it, I suppose. I don't know what you mean. Maybe it's a comment to mark. Okay. So now, what we want to do with all of that stuff? I suppose I want to actually extract only the times, right? So I want to extract only the times, and the time, as far as I can tell, is the first element in here, right? It is the first element in here, so it's gonna be 0. And if I try to run this entire thing, it has to be with the download, and here is the time. So as far as I know, FFmpeg accepts the time in seconds, right? So we'll need to convert this entire thing into seconds. So let's actually implement some sort of a function. Right, time, define time. You know what, I want to go ahead and change my color scheme, because this one is kind of horrible. So I'm going to use evening. Right, so this is going to be evening. Is that better? Is that better? Time stamp to 6. Timestamp, right? So this is going to be that thing. How are we going to be doing timestamp to 6? So I'm going to return timestamp for now, and we're going to start experimenting with this shit. I might as well actually open like a second window in here, so to make it easier a little bit. So then I can just run this entire thing and do stuff like that. Okay. So how do you split shit in Python? Does anyone know how you split shit? I think this is how you split shit. A boom, and it has to be a download. Okay, it didn't work. Nice. Or did it? I didn't think so. Okay, Python split string by delimiter. Right, split string by delimiter. So there is just split. This is my favorite website. I learned everything from this website. I really recommend it. It's written in the best technology ever, ASP. Okay, so there is a separator, and I don't really know why it didn't work. I don't really understand why it didn't work. Oh, because I never actually called this function, because I'm a dummy, of course. Timestamp to 6, timestamp to 6, and there we go. All right, so, and there we go. So we managed to split this entire shite. How about that? How about that? So is there any ways to assert in Python? Is it even possible? Timestamp to 6. Exactly. We're mature audience in here. You know what, Ceremoon, this is actually genius. I'm gonna start actually ending all of my things with like semicolon to piss people off. I think it's perfect. So all right, so this is going to be something like comps. These are the components, all right? And what I assert in here, I actually assert that the amount of components, right? So it's going to be comps is going to be 3. If you don't have a 3 components in here, as you know, that works. I guess it's actually pretty cool that it works. What the fuck? So let me try to do something. So if I try to do print, right, it just works. But what about Python 2? Does it work in Python? Was it edit in Python 3? No, it actually always existed. That's very interesting. Oh, it's needed if you want to put several statements on the same line. Right, so yeah. You need to have that if you want to put several things on the same line. All right. So what we're going to do in here, so the formula has to be very simple. We need a way to convert a string into a number. Right, so, and it's just like literally integer. So in that case, we have essentially hours, right? And then we have minutes, right? So this is basically minutes. And then we have this stuff. There we go. So the first one is seconds, right? Since we're converting everything to secs, we don't have to modify anything in here. So the next thing is minutes. How much secs do you have in minutes? Well, you have 60 secs, right? So let's actually put 60 in there. So it's going to be 60 secs. And then we have hours. How many minutes do you have in an hour? Well, you have 60 minutes, and then you have 60 secs in a single minute, right? So that's basically how we convert in the timestamp to secs, right? So let's see if it's gonna work or not. Let's see if it's gonna work or not. So I can just try to run this entire thing, and there you go. This is how much secs you have in each individual marker. Right, so the biggest amount of sex we had with your mom is 8,530. Anyway, so yeah, so I suppose if I remember correctly, FFmpeg accepts seconds, right? It accepts seconds, and that's precisely why we wanna actually convert all of that stuff. So timestamp is a very big word. I might as well actually wanna, you know, rename it to something else. Timestamp. Maybe we're gonna call it TS, right? So it's gonna be TS to secs, right? So can I just do something like this? Okay, cool. So how do you cut a thing from FFmpeg? Let's actually learn a little bit more about that. All right. Depending on there is a leap second or not, there might be 61 seconds in a minute kappa. Well, it is true for dates, right? But this is not a date. This is a duration. So, got him! You lost. All right, so let me see. FFmpeg cut from video, I don't know. To cut up video, okay. So you can use SS option to specify the start timestamp, and the -2 option to specify the encoding duration. Oh, this is actually quite cool. So, okay. start timestamp and the rest of the stuff, and then the duration. Okay, so we need a way to form like a command line or something. We need to form a command line. To be fair, I need a way to run external commands. Okay, so let's actually learn how to do that in Python. Run external command. Does anyone know how to do that? Subprocess call. How to call an external command in Python. Let's learn about that. Any examples? Any examples? Import subprocess. Okay, so import subprocess. There we go. If I try to run this entire thing, yeah, you have to do that with download a CSV. It worked perfectly. So okay, so you can just do subprocess call. All right, that's perfect, actually. I really like that. I want to learn more about this subcall thingy. Yeah, I don't need your stinky website. I got all the information I need, okay? So I know that it's called subprocess, so I don't need your shit anymore. So I'm going to import subprocess, right? And I'm going to just do help subprocess. Okay. The following documentation, I can even open the official website. The official website. And here's the interesting question. Why the fuck this thing is not the first result in Google? Why? The official website of Python, like precisely the information that I need. And this is not the first thing on Google. Google harvests so much of my personal data. It literally knows everything about me, yet it's incapable of providing relevant results. This is a shame, like straight up. Like, why the fuck am I giving you so much data? I'm not one of those people that, no, we shouldn't collect personal data. I'm okay with giving away my personal data, as much of my personal data as possible, to the company, if the company gives me something valuable in return. This shit is not valuable. I'm sorry. Why the fuck I'm giving you so much data and you're incapable of giving me relevant results? And why I still have to like go through this entire stuff and just searching for stuff. It's a fucking shame. It's a fucking shame. I don't know. So anyway. DuckDuckGo results are even less relevant than Google ones. Come on, seriously. So my problem with Google is that it's not collecting my data. I'm okay with Google collecting my data. My problem is that it's incapable of giving relevant results, and I still have to search for relevant results myself. I don't know. So this is a failure. This is absolute failure. So process run. Oh, it's also highly customizable. I really like that. Look at that. So you can provide standard input. You can just provide input and shit like that. Can you run it asynchronously, for instance? So can you do async? Async IO. Oh wait. Poppen. Wait for child process to terminate. Set and return code. Okay, good. Okay, good. So I guess the only thing I need to do in here is just like call run or something, right? So that's precisely what I need to do in here. I don't even know how to test all of that, so I'm gonna just do run. And let's just run ffmpeg, I don't know, right? And then maybe exit everything with the exit code 69. Right. Okay, so if I try to run this entire thing, right? And it didn't even, oh yeah, because it failed before. And oh my god, it actually worked. It actually ran the external command as I would expect it to run. This is actually goddamn fucking perfect, mate. All right, so... So what else do we want to have? I want to have like a special command, cut, maybe something like ffmpeg cut chunk. Right, we're going to provide the file name, input file path. Here's the input file path. Then I guess start in seconds, right? Start in second, and duration in seconds. Right, so this is the thing that we're going to provide in here. We're going to just simply construct the command line, right? So it's going to be something like CLI. The first thing is going to be here, ffmpeg. I feel like I'm programming in no build. You know, I made my own sort of build system called no build, and essentially that system lets you write building recipes in C, and essentially it feels like programming in shell but in C. And all of the building recipes, they look like yeah, they look like this. Yeah, you end up like programming like in this weird DSL, which is quite funny. So let me take a look at more elaborate examples, especially pipes. Yeah, you can do pipes with this thing, but they all look like this, right? So, and I implemented this thing, by the way. I spent time implementing it. It's actually, the idea is actually quite cool. I just cannot find time to push that idea to like a logical conclusion or something like that. So yeah, and unfortunately C is not a good programming language. Should I stop my sentence here? It's not a good programming language for building recipes. And I also think C is not particularly great programming language, but we're kind of stuck with that language anyway. So that's my problem with C. So how do we cut the shit? How do we cut the shit? So first we have to provide double S. That's what we're providing here. We're providing double S, a start in sex with double S. All right, start in sex with double S. So you can provide, wait a second. You don't have to convert that in seconds. Why did I think that you have to convert that in seconds? Why did I think that? So apparently we don't even need to do that. All right, but I still need to do computations. Yeah. I still need to do computations to actually find out the duration. And for instance, if you have 2 timestamps, right, how can you find the distance between 2 timestamps? Right, you convert them to seconds, you subtract one from another, right, you subtract one to another, and then you will convert it back to the timestamp. But if you're already working with seconds, I think it makes sense to just keep working with seconds anyway. So I think that's going to be easier. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? Yes. You know me, I know you, we know each other. All right. We've been together for like 3 years already. You and me, chat. We know each other so well. Okay, so the input is going to be that, and the encoder, so as far as I know, -C is an encoder, and this is quite crucial piece of information, copy. This is precisely the reason why I'm doing all of that. Right, because re-encoding such a huge word, I don't even know how big this word is. So if we take a look at it, it doesn't give you even duration. Let's actually open it with VLC, and it's going to be something like this. And the length of it is 232 32 minutes, right? So it's very, very long. And if we're encoding the entire thing, usually will take longer than the video itself, right? Because it's not going to be re-encoding it with the same FPS, depending on the encoder, by the way. But if your encoder is very slow, you may not, you may end up actually re-encoding it slower than the playback. So, and in that case, it will take longer than 3 hours. But if you copy the frames, right? If you copy the frames, it's going to be super fast actually. So it's basically copy pasting them. -T is the output option always needs to be specified after I. Okay. This can be -T, and this one is going to be duration 6. Duration 6, and the output is going to be what? The output is going to be I don't know, should we specify the output path as well? Does it make sense to specify output path as well? I would like to maybe construct the yeah, we need to specify output path. I think we do need to specify that. So it's going to be output file path. To be fair, file path is sort of redundant. I would like to actually replace file path with just path. I have too many cables. They're getting into my way. So file path, there we go. So star sex, input path, duration sex, and output path. Okay, that's perfect actually. Output path. All right, so here's our CLI. Of course, don't forget about semicolon at the end of this entire thing. Semicolon is very important in Python. If you forget the semicolon, it's not going to compile. And if it doesn't compile, well, it doesn't work. I'm sorry. So sub process run, right? It's going to be CLI. And what we're going to be doing, I suppose. I'm just thinking how it would be better to actually do all of that. So maybe I'm going to be collecting the timestamps into something. It would be better to actually have a separate function. So something like load ts from file, right? And then you provide something like path to the file, right? So it's going to be something like that. So this is the path to the file, and we are moving this entire shit here. There we go. Ah! It's when you forget that you are in insert mode and you think that you're in command mode and you try to navigate around, it just turns into this kind of shit. Unfortunately, there's also a little bit of delay between, I think, TeamUX and Vim and how fast I can type, and sometimes it just cannot keep up with me. So FFmpeg uses Qt. No, it uses Electron, right? All of the applications this day use Electron. Have you heard about this technology? It's way better than Qt, by the way. I really recommend to check it out. So FFmpeg recently actually switched to this one. Because Qt, who uses Qt in 2021? Come on, seriously. C++. Anyway, so what we're gonna have in here. So we're loading the TS from file. That way I can actually maybe use list comprehension, right? So it's gonna be some sort of a list comprehension, and I'm iterating like for row in spam read. I only noticed that it's called spam reader, and this is because I copy pasted this chunk from like documentation or something. The fuck. Yeah. All right. So spam reader, and in here we're going to be actually just returning two sex, and then there's going to be just row 0. There we go. So it's going to be something like that. And look how simple it is. Look how simple it is. I might actually as well simplify it down to like a single line, right? So yeah. Can your C++ do that, by the way? I don't fucking think so, mate. Your C++ can't do shit. Old ass language. And also don't forget a semicolon here. Alright, so yeah, that's pretty cool. And with here is quite important because you also should not forget to close the file, right? So that should work. Ganovin Banana, thank you so much for 11 months of tier 1 subscription. Holy shit, thank you so much. This is actually super cool. I hope, yeah, by the way, if you made any donations using like Streamlabs or something, please let me know. Just add me in the chat and let me know, because I cannot see them. So yeah. My Streamlabs is broken. Shit! Now people will start adding me and telling me I made a donation and I have no way to verify that. So yeah, right. Alright, so... Okay, how many of you made a donation to me? How many of you made a donation to me? Tell me. Be honest. Don't lie to me. I did. Okay, thank you, that random tanker, for the donation. I really appreciate it. Okay, Chairman, how do you pronounce this name? I really don't want to mispronounce it. I'm gonna call you Chairman just in case. Okay, you did. So many people made a donation. Holy shit! Somebody made like 1K donation. Oh my god! Donated $300 for Zigstream. Okay, Zigstream tomorrow then. Finally, somebody donated $300, so we're gonna do Zigstream tomorrow. All right. So, anyways, what I need to do in here, I just wanted to test that, you know, this entire stuff sort of works. So we're going to do load ts from file, right? So it's going to be load ts from file, and this is going to be essentially just ts, right? So, and I can just print ts like that. And if I do, it's going to be something like that. Download, and file cs file is not defined. Oh yeah, because this thing is actually called path, right? So you see, with list comprehension, you can actually simplify the code dramatically, right? So the example that took like 5 lines in official documentation now takes like 2 lines, right? Just with the list comprehension. It's beautiful. It's fucking beautiful. I love it. I love it. Python is my favorite language. Python is absolutely my favorite language. Okay, so then we need to try to run this entire thing and try to sort of like cut off a particular piece of information. So I think what we can try to do, let's actually accept more arguments, right? So let's accept more arguments. So the first one is going to be CSV path, right? So, and we are going to just basically cut off this thing, and I'm going to put it in here. And then we're going to have video path, right? So it's going to be video path sys argv2, right? So we are extracting the timestamps, right? And then I'm going to just hard code a simple thing. So it's going to be ffmpeg cut chunk. I provide the input file. The input file is a video path. The start sex is going to be ts at 0, right? And the duration of the sex is going to be 1 minus ts 0, right? And the output, I don't know what's going to be the output. So what's the, okay, it's in mp4. Let's actually call it something like chunk mp4, right? So that's basically what we want to do in here. Looks good to me, actually. Looks good to me. Okay, let's actually try to test this entire thing, and we're gonna provide download CSV and then the file, and it didn't work. Expected str bytes or OS path, but not int. I see. That would be a considerably large bulge. Too large given the interest of my employers. Okay, so if I have something like this, can I do, okay, so I can just easily convert all of that. Okay, so that means I need to like literally go through all of these things like str and just like convert them to string, and to str, and I guess that's it. Do we need anything else? Do we need anything else? I don't think so, actually. So yeah, let's try to run this entire thing. Yep. Unrecognized option O. This looks like a face, by the way. It's a surprised Pikachu face or something. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Why we don't have a O? What the fuck? Excuse me. Unrecognized option O. Is that because it's it does not exist apparently? Oh, why did I put -O in here? I think I'm an idiot. Okay, that actually explains a lot. That actually explains my entire life, believe it or not. Just realizing that I'm an idiot explains like literally everything. Okay, so, and it's cutting out the chunk. It is actually cutting out the chunk. All right, so how fast is it doing? Look at the FPS with which it handles all of that. This is literally FPS at which FFmpeg handles this entire shit, right? So, and this is because it basically copy-pastes the frame, and that's precisely why I wanted to use FFmpeg with copy, right? So, okay, so we've got the chunk. Here it is. The size of the chunk is actually it's actually a pretty big chunk, not gonna lie. Let's see how it starts, right? What is this shit? Oh, add stream marker. Hello. It needs to be offset a little bit, apparently. Thank you, Twitch. Apparently, Twitch is not like second perfect. Apparently, Twitch is not second perfect. We need to add an option. We need to add an option to sort of offset things around, if you know what I mean. I wonder how we're gonna do that. I wonder how we're gonna do that. So maybe it's gonna be like a special option somewhere here. Apparently it is very hard to make it. Well, I mean, yeah, it is very hard because to make a marker, by the way, what I need to do to make a marker, I need to click this thing. All right, I need to click this button. Okay, so I'm wearing glasses for a reason. All right, I'm wearing glasses for a reason. So you need to click that, and as you can see, it has some like a little bit of a delay. So it needs to make like API query, and once it makes an API query, the backend has to query the database and do all of that, you know, software horrible shit, and only then it can put like a timestamp in there. So of course it's not going to be second perfect. Right, of course. Okay. We live in a society. We live in a society. Unfortunately. Okay, go. So we probably can introduce some sort of a like a flag, but now we need to actually parse like command line arguments and shit. Python get opt. Maybe the time has come to use get opt. Is there any examples on how to use this shit? Okay, so there's the arg parse. It's too much code for what it's doing. And what's interesting is that you have to deserialize this shit anyway, right? So you have to deserialize it anyway. So let's actually see. Let's actually see what it's doing and how it's working. So this is one thing. Is there any way to... Okay, I have an interesting idea. If false, right? And then just continue like this. There we go. So now I sort of like commented out this part and I can have my alternative entry point. All right, so we need to import arg parse, right? So can I just import it somewhere here? Import arg parse. There we go. So arg parse, and the way you do that, you do arg parse argument parser, right? Argument parser, and we're gonna assign the parser somewhere here. Parser like this. So we need to add different options. Like, what kind of options do we want to add there? Add arguments. So the first one is, I suppose, has to be a CSV file. So this is going to be a CSV file. So it has a variant of like longer and bigger option. Yeah, dest verbose. I suppose dest is the destination, right, of our nation. Cool. And there's also action. Okay, let's take a look at the arg parse. Maybe metavar. Yeah, it actually has a lot of this kind of stuff. So maybe I'm gonna just start with just defining these simple things. I'm pretty sure all of this stuff is kind of like optional, right? So we can also actually test that. Python 3 import arg parse, right? So something like arg parse. Arg parse. Argument parser, add. For some reason my brain is incapable of holding this kind of stuff. And all of that is either like variadic arguments or key wargs. I don't know how it's called. So it doesn't really explain it that much, but maybe we can do something like this. Right, yeah, there's like very little explanation of what the fuck is going on in here, so that's totally fine. That is totally fine. Okay, so another option that I want to have in here is going to be the input. Right, so this is going to be the input, and we also want to have a delay, right? So after that, I can just call parse args, right? So it's going to be parser, parse args. There we go, and we can just try to print this entire thing like that, right? So and if I try to run like this, and yeah, so basically this is a namespace. And I suppose namespace maybe is something that I can treat as a hash table, right? So it's gonna be something like args. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to put semicolons everywhere in here. This is actually quite important. How do I append? Huh. Okay, I can do it like that. All right. So if I print this entire thing, it's gonna be args. And now if I try to run this entire stuff, if I put C. SV, it contains something, but what if I provide something that doesn't exist? It will... Okay, so it automatically just generates all of that. Okay, that's fine. That's totally fine. All right. What else do I want to do? I wanted to test if I can just do something like C, right? Is that something I can do? Yeah, it's going to be C23. Okay, so that seems to be working. All right, so maybe this is precisely what we're going to use in here. So there's a meta var. Okay, so maybe this is precisely what I'm going to put in here. It's going to be meta var equal to this kind of shit. And meta variable for the CSV is going to be CSV. Then input, right? Input. Input and delay, right? And delay is, of course, has to be in sex. Right, delay is going to be in sex. All right, so and then if I try to run this entire thing, it provided none. If I provide something like this, yeah, okay, so that's cool. Semicolon based. Yeah, that's my based semicolon. Hey, what's up? How are you doing? I'm programming in your favorite programming language, by the way. I know that you love it. All right, so I want to make a small break. Actually, it's kind of like difficult to focus on this entire shit for too long. How are you guys doing? You need to put them on the same line to improve readability. Sure. Still works. Beautiful. Cursed indeed. Cursed indeed. Much better. Yeah, I do agree with it. So, but can you make some of them mandatory? Mandatory. Required. Okay, so there is a shed called required, because the problem here is that you see it just like compiles like this, unfortunately. Can I just say something like yeah, that's precisely what I wanted to say. I don't understand why it doesn't work. I forgot how to use the rectangular selections when I want to insert something. I think it's something like yeah, it's A, but with I. Yeah, it's Shift I. Okay, I forgot. Required true. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. All right. So the following arguments are required. Perfect. 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 All right. So can I do something like, I don't know, markers CSV? Yeah, but it's it makes it feel like I don't know. Maybe this one is fine. I'm bike shading at this point. All right. So let's grab this into a shite. Let's grab this into a shite and put it in here. Did it work properly? Yeah, it did work properly. So now I don't have to do any of this shit. I don't have to do any of this shit. Right, and this one is just args, right? So args is gonna be args C. So this is a meta var, but is there something like var? Right, the actual name. Can I give it the actual name in here? I should be able to. So there was an example somewhere. So foo help. I need an example. Destination, you say? Destination of. It's a dest. Okay. Destination of our nation. Okay. Dest. This one's gonna be CSV, input, and delay. So if I try to do that, arc is not defined. That is really strange because I just defined it and it says it's not defined or something. That is really, really sus. I think it is very, very sus. Arcs. Why is it not? This is literally what? What the fuck? Line 23. Ah, okay. Nice trick by the way, right? Nice trick. There we go. And yeah, you have to provide CSV marker. It's not that, it's going to download. Then you have to provide the input. It's going to be something like this. And yeah, the delay is also required. We're going to say it's going to be 5 seconds. And we've got all of that shit in here. Perfect. I really like what's going on in here. So this one is going to be essentially CSV. And then when we're cutting this entire stuff from delay. Okay, so delay in that particular case means that I have to move a little bit further. To be fair, I think I need to provide the delay like right here. So it's going to be args delay. Okay, so if we load TS from file, right, load TS from file, this one is also going to have a delay. Right, so here's the delay, and we're going to be subtracting the delay essentially, right? Actually adding the delay, right, because it went a little bit back, and in that case I want to actually add the delay. All right, so that looks fine. That looks fine. The fuck with my bottle? Delay. So let's take a look at the original piece that we have in here. Shit. Oh, add stream marker. Okay, so I can clearly see that the delay is 4 seconds, right? So that means we're gonna add that delay in here, and it's gonna be 4 seconds. Let me double check everything. Okay, so let's actually see if it's gonna work. And unsupported operator on the type. Are you fucking serious, mate? So, oh, okay. Where we don't even convert it to an integer. That is really strange. Wait a fucking second. Did it actually do conversion for me? If this entire thing turned out to be... Ah, I see. This has to be an integer. Okay. I see. I thought it's I needed conversion in a different place. All right, one more time. Video path is not defined. So the line is 29. Okay, video path has to be args input. There we go. So anything else? Okay, so we're overriding this entire shit. Okay. So we're generating a new chunk, right? We're generating a new chunk, and in a new chunk, Muxin overhead. Is that a good or bad thing? So I'm not sure if it's a good or bad thing, but it did a thing. Okay, so let me actually remove this entire thing, and I'm going to try to run it one more time. All right. Muxin overhead. All right, so we can take a look. We can take a look at the chunk, right? So, hello. It took into account the delay, which is quite cool. And welcome to another Zodin session. How about that? How about that? But you didn't expect that shit to happen, huh? Today is Saturday, and that means today, according to the schedule, we're supposed to be doing game development, but yesterday, and yeah, essentially, before I start, I want to make a small break, so just a second. Perfect! It cut it perfectly! Look at that! This is beautiful! This is actually pretty cool. So yeah, and we have a bunch of such chunks, right? So we have a bunch of such chunks, right? And we need to cut them all, right? So we need to generate them all and we need to cut them all. Unfortunately, there's a huge problem in here. The sizes of these videos and stuff like that is just like 4 gigabytes, but the amount of space I have is 5 gigabytes. So that means I'll need to double the size of the VOD for each individual chunk and then triple for the output concatenated chunk. You know what I'm talking about? So I just don't have enough space in my home, unfortunately. And the problem is, I think I know why. I have a lot of shit in my programming Tsoding folder, and I want to find out who is the offender. But computing the whole size actually takes a little bit of time, so yeah. It's actually kind of cool that Python just accepts, yeah, this entire shit takes like 8 gigabytes, but who's the, yeah, so the summary, I think S means summary, right? So S means summary, and I remember there was like, so this is threshold, and there's also probably a depth, if I remember correctly, right? Was there any depth? Yeah, max depth. Okay, so since we warmed up all the caches, I'm gonna try to do something like this. Summarizing conflicts with, oh yeah, let's not summarize then. All right, that is very interesting. So here's OpenGL PP. Oh yeah, I remember this one. It's a preprocessor, right? Haskell DP, Rust browser game. So let's actually not bring it as human readable. So this thing is not human readable anymore, and what we can do now, we can sort it in a numeric order. Well, yeah, the biggest one is markcut, but the second biggest is actually Vodus, which is quite interesting. So this is the amount of kilobytes, this is the amount of megabytes, and this is the amount. Okay, so if I take a look at the Vodus, why the fuck we have so much shit in here? I can try to do something like, okay, here is the amount of space I have in here, and I'm gonna be doing git clean fdx. And how much space do I have now? Yeah, I got 1 gig. I got 1 gig, which is pretty cool, I think. At least I got 1 gig. So maybe I have something else. Okay, KG Vodka. Actually, the smallest now is like 200 or something, so I didn't think there's too much things to fix in here. We can try to do the same thing for, yeah, for third party maybe. Yeah. Remove Haskell packages. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good idea, I think. Wait a second. So yeah, if I take a look at the Cabal stuff, right? How big the Cabal shit? Maybe it's gonna be too slow. Yeah, we'll probably need to wait until this entire stuff. And also maybe Rust packages, right? So it's gonna be Cargo. Yeah, we also probably have a lot of shit in here, so it's primarily Cargo and some other stuff. So, oh, Tsoding is around 7 gigabyte, but Probe is actually way bigger. So, and I don't really need too much shit. Oh, wait a fucking second. I have a folder lying around that just weighs 4.3 gigs that I don't even fucking need. Okay, that's straight up bye-bye. Straight up fucking bye-bye. Seriously. The fuck? Alright, so what about this one? Well, this one I also don't need, but I mean, I might as well remove it. DU, another one. So, Quaternions. Quaternions take like 1 gig. I don't quite understand why. Probably because of the target or something. If I do clean FDX, it removed everything. And if I take a look at this one, it's now actually way smaller. And yeah, kilobytes, megabytes. Yeah, it was definitely that. So Quaternions is not even here. So if I take a look at the amount of space I have 12 gigs, right? 4 plus 4 plus 4 is going to be 12, if I understand correctly, right? If my math checks out. So that means it should be fine. Alright, so there's also Emscripten. Why the electrons? What the fuck is all of this shit? I don't need that. Yeah, so this prop folder, I think the prop folder is the biggest offender in here, right? Electrons. Okay, so how much stuff do I have? 14 gigabytes. I think it should be fine. So... This is my first time in my life ever seeing someone a majority of their hardware. It's easy, just use Rust and Haskell simultaneously. It's fucking easy. Believe me. And also JavaScript with NPM. And I have like my hard drive, like I have a 1 terabyte hard drive in here. Seriously. It's modern software development is horrible. And actually use a lot of different like package managed languages or something like Python, JavaScript, Rust, Haskell, and I basically keep packages of all of them, and it just like takes up so much fucking space. It's insane. But your home, that's actually a good point. You know what? I also have a dual boot Windows in here. So yeah, and also have a lot of shit on Windows. I haven't boot to the Windows on this machine for quite some time. I'm not even sure if it still works. So gonna play. I don't even run it seriously. Like it's just sitting there. Yeah, I don't really play video games anymore, unfortunately. Try it right in the stream, but I mean I have to finish the stream if I'm gonna try it. Okay, so let me see. So we don't need that shit anymore. Oh yeah, I wanted to check how big the Cabal folder is, actually. It may take some time, but I want to see that. So this is going to be Cabal, and what about the cargo, right? What about the cargo? Is it too bad that I like run them simultaneously? Rare window. It's not that bad. For Haskell, 3.5 gig. Okay, so all right. It's not that bad apparently. Maybe it's not packages. Maybe it's just all of my porn. Yeah. So I wasted all of my hard drive space on porn, and I'm trying to blame the languages for that. Yes, that's the most sodding thing I've ever done in my entire life. Yes. It's Windows. It will try to update to 10. Isn't like free update to 10 sort of over, or can you still update to 10? Because at some point they disable that, so I don't know. And Windows that I have in here is Windows 8, by the way, 8.1. Free update is over. Yeah, free update is over as far as I know. I resisted until the end. But yeah, was it many? Holy shit! I'm so old. Why am I so? Why? Okay. All right. Anyway, so what are we doing in here? What I want to do now, I want to iterate my timestamps in pairs. Right, that's what I want to do. So I want to save the amount of timestamps I have to n, and I want to assert a very simple thing. Right, this shit has to be even. This shit has to be even. All right, so excuse me. And for I in a range of n, actually n divided by 2, right? Because I need to do it by pairs. We're gonna be, you know, creating the chunks. So we're gonna be creating the chunks. So the start is gonna be ts I multiplied by 2. Right, it's gonna be I multiplied by 2, and the end is gonna be I multiplied by 2, but plus 1. Plus 1. And for the symmetry, we're gonna do plus 0. By the way, does the Python interpreter optimizes that out? Does anyone know? As far as I know, Python is notorious for being extremely slow. Does it at least try to optimize out these kind of things? So it compiles down to its own virtual machine, as far as I know, right? So maybe on the level when it compiles to the virtual machine, maybe this stuff kind of optimized out. I don't know. All right. Thinking it in. Oh yeah. Thank you so much. Actually, let me see. So if I try to do something like 10 divided by 3, yeah, this is how I do that. Thank you so much. But I mean, if it's divisible by 2, it doesn't really matter that much. But I mean, it will not return an integer, right? So if something is divisible by 2 and I use float division, right? So type float. So 10 is int. This one is float, even if it's divisible. Okay, thank you so much. That's actually pretty cool. All right. So this is what we have, and we're gonna start from a particular place, and the duration is gonna be. Let's actually put something like duration in here. So this is gonna be duration of our nation. It's gonna be end minus 1 start. By the way, how can I align everything according to the equals, like in Emacs? If you know what I mean. So okay, for those who doesn't know, in Emacs you can actually do pretty cool shit. I'm not sure if it's easily possible. So you have something like this. And you have variables of different sizes, right? So some of them are shorter, some of them are longer. You can select this thing and say align regex equal. How can you do that in Vim? Does anyone know? Do we have any professional Vimers in the chat who can tell me how the fuck you do that? Can your Vim do that easily? I mean, it probably can, because you can always implement that. Tabulate. Oh, all right. So let's actually take a look. Tabulate. Plugin. Yikes. Align regex. Align. Part of Emacs. Straight up part of Emacs. To be fair, Emacs has a tendency of actually adding everything to the distribution of Emacs. So like each new release of Emacs is actually not changing the core, but just adding more packages to the original distribution. It's just like each release just blows up over time. Was that highlighted Zoom tool? It's called Boomer. You can find it in here. There we go. So so we can check it out. It's written in Nim, by the way. Have you heard about this programming language? It's basically like Python, but statically compiled. Yeah, it's Linux only, unfortunately. I don't know how to make it cross-platform, right? So it utilizes mechanisms of access, right, to get a screenshot and stuff like that. Yeah. Feel free to try to port it somewhere else, but I don't know how to do that. It just uses way too many Linux specific mechanisms. Oh, it's actually, yeah, it's more of a POSIX only. Yeah, because Hotzenplotz managed to make it work on FreeBSD. Yeah. It also works on FreeBSD. But does it require the Linux, how is it called? Emulation layer or something like that? Or you can just compile it down to FreeBSD or something. All right. So let's continue. Okay, so we also need to denote the chunks in here, right? So what we're gonna put in here? Python format string 0 pad. How the pad zeros to a string? Okay. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Format. Yeah, there's also f strings, and in the f strings, okay, this is actually pretty cool. I really like that. I think, yeah, let's actually use 3 zeros in here. Not sure if it has to be 3. It depends on how many chunks you want to have in here. Let's actually have 2. Alright, so now what we're going to try to do, we're going to try to sequentially cut several chunks and hope that our system is not going to die. Because it may, because we don't really have that much space in here. Well, we have 14 gigs, so we should be more or less safe. So it's going to be, where is the, okay, Zozin Markut, okay. Let's remove the chunks, and I'm going to try to do Markut. So first thing, okay, range already doesn't work. Is it because range accepts 2 things? So it accepts 0 and, yeah, okay. Can I convert it to a list? Okay, so it doesn't include the last thing in here. All right, that's fine. This one's going to be something like 0. Okay. I'm an idiot. Did I mention that I'm an idiot? Did I mention that? I think I did. All right, so we need a CSV. This is going to be download, right? Download CSV. Then input is going to be something, 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 and the delay is going to be 4 seconds. We know for a fact it's a 4 second. Maybe we can hard code that delay. Maybe we can hard code that delay because we know that delay of Twitch is 4 seconds. 4 seconds. All right, let's go. So this is the first one. How many of them? Okay, it keeps generating this shit. Look, look, look. It keeps generating. Can I do something like watch? Yeah. It seems to be working. So, and you know what's cool? Theoretically, you can do all of that in parallel, right? So we can just take each individual chunk and run all of that stuff in parallel. And I wonder how to implement that. Can we do that on a level of the subprocess module? Right, so subprocess should probably create a handler and basically asynchronously release the execution and continue execution, if you know what I mean. So we have 10 markers, so that means we're gonna end up with 5 chunks, right? So this is the last chunk as far as I can tell. Come on, you can do that. You can do that. It worked. It looks like it worked fine. All right, so this is how many chunks we have. And how much space did it take? It didn't even take that much space, to be fair. Yeah, okay, that's pretty cool. Subprocess can do that, nice. Aiguduk, you suspiciously know too much about Python. Anyway. So, let's actually take a look at the chunks. Right, so the first chunk starts at this thing, right? Hello. Hello. And welcome to another Zozin session. How about that? I bet you didn't expect that shit. You didn't expect that shit to happen. Okay, so the last one. And let's just start implementing things. And yeah, essentially, before I start, I want to make a small break. So just a second. Okay, and the next chunk, how the next chunk looks like. All right, so it was actually perfect. So let's apply the knowledge that we gained to. There we go. And I'm gonna push that. All right, there we go. And I'm gonna push that right into the repo. All right, let's make a small break. Could be a little bit better, but I think it's fine. All right, so let's into the readme. All right, I'm gonna push that right into the repo. All right, so let's make a small break, and after the break, we're gonna try to see how can we scan this stack. It looks a little bit awkward, especially when, okay, so maybe I can adjust some of the chunks manually. So if I remember correctly, GCC had a special. All right, so let's make a small break. The more we go further in the chunks, the more there is a delay. So some sort of like delay keeps accumulating. Because you know why? Because the delay is not integer. Delay is not integer. So that's why the mistake in delay accumulates over time. So I have to actually measure delay down to milliseconds as well. But I mean, it doesn't look that critical, to be fair. It doesn't look that critical. But maybe at some point we're gonna actually have a delay of milliseconds. So all right, so let's allocate something that will keep track of. I see you on the next coding session. I see you in the next question. Love you all. That's it. Stream is over. Wait. The end was interesting. I see you on the next coding session. I see you in the next question. Love you all. The last. Did you hear that? This is actually very funny. This is because I said something afterwards. I see you on the next coding session. I see you in the next question. Love you all. It was actually shorter than I did, but I mean, yeah. Okay, so we've got the chunks. We've got the chunks, mate. We've got the chunks. Now we need to actually concatenate these chunks, I suppose. Oh, what the fuck am I doing? So maybe the whole process of like splitting the chunks and whatnot could be separated into like a separate function, so I can call it, you know, at some point, but I don't know. So cut chunks, so load TS, and another thing, I don't know how to call that thing, so maybe I'm not gonna do anything in here. So we loaded this entire stuff, and I'm gonna just quickly comment it out like that, and the next thing I'm gonna try to do is essentially concatenate everything, right? Because we need to concatenate everything. So let me see. ffmpeg concat files. Yeah. Control C causes that. Yeah, probably. How do we concatenate? Huh. Do you have to... I don't want to create a separate file. This is bullshit. Okay, concat save 0. All right. And then you basically can... Yeah, you can provide several files in here, right? But what's the syntax? So echo... Ooh, this one is weird. I see. So the input doesn't accept really the input files. It accepts these like directives and whatnot. I see. I see. But the first thing we need to generate probably is the files, right? So the file names. I probably still need this thing in here, right? And yeah, I think all of these asserts here are important. And what we're going to be doing here instead is we're going to do like the range. And maybe I'm going to do a list comprehension, right? Because list comprehension is awesome. And we're going to be generating a bunch of names. So it's going to be chunk. This chunk is going to be, of course, formatted like this. And we're going to have something like, I forgot how to use this shit. Yeah, so it's going to be I02, right? I02. So here are the chunk names. Chunk names. There we go. Can I just print this entire thing and do chunk names? Oh. So marcut. So here are all of the chunk names, but I also probably need to do something like this, right? So it's going to be mkv. Oh boy. Maybe the next thing I need to do is to create a function called ffmpeg concat chunks, right? ffmpeg concat chunks, right? And we're going to accept chunk names in here. And we probably also need to accept the output path, right? Output path. There we go. Yeah, let's construct CLI as usual. The CLI is going to be very simple. ffmpeg, right? So here's ffmpeg. Then the encoder, the format rather, is the concatenation format, if I understand correctly. Safety has to be turned off because you know, it's a very unsafe operation. So that's why we do safe equals 0, right? Then we provide the input, right? We provide the input, and the input is going to be something like this, input. Okay, so now we need to basically concatenate all of the file paths into this kind of thing, right? We basically have to concatenate it like that. So you know what? I think I'm going to test that. So if I have chunk names, can I iterate them one more time? So it's going to be name in chunk names, so something like this, name in chunk names. And in here it's going to be something like f. It's not like that. So I think you put $$ in here when you're programming in JavaScript. Yeah, okay. JavaScript developer exposed. I'm sorry. I program from time to time in JavaScript. You exposed me. All right. So this is going to be the name, and I suppose I want to actually replace these kind of things with that. And this is going to be something like this. So this is going to be also file. All right. And if I try to print this entire thing, yeah, there we go. So now we have these kind of things, which kind of resemble what you have in here. But on top of that, you need to join them together. I think you join them like this. You provide the new line, and then you just join the entire party in here, right? So it's going to be something like this. There we go. There we fucking go. And we've got that. We got that. All my beloved languages, yes. Alrighty, so we now need to move this entire shit to the function. Right, we're moving this entire shit to the function, and there we go. There we go. Maybe I can do something like this. Boom. So, and the input is going to be just basically this stuff. Yeah. Looks horrible, by the way. I love it. So now we also have to provide the rest of the things, right? So after that, we have to say that we're copying the frames. It's going to be -c, copy. And after we copy the frames, we have to provide the output, right? So we're providing the output, and here's the output path. All right. Do we need anything else? I don't think we need anything else. We can just safely run the subprocess CLI, and there we go. That should work. That should work. Cool. I hope I didn't miss anything. So here's the chunk names, and now I'm going to try to attempt to do ffmpeg concat chunks, and I provide chunk names. All right. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Because this is the moment where we're going to try to concatenate all of these chunks that we've got into a single coherent video. All right. marcut, marcut. It doesn't. Okay, so it probably means that I have to do that one more time. Okay, so this is going to be CSV, download CSV, then input is going to be this one. It's going to be ignored for now, but it doesn't matter. So delay is going to be 4. It's also going to be ignored. And missing one required position argument output path. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I have to provide the output. Okay, so the output is going to be output MP4, right? MP4, there we go. So chunk v, no such file or directory. Okay, MP4. They all start with M, okay? They all start with M, and I wear glasses so I cannot see shit in this mist. I'm sorry. All right, so no such file. Oh, it basically thought that this is the file name. That's why it's printed it like that. Oh shit. Okay. So, interestingly enough, this is really fucking sus. How do I do that? Looks like they should not be concatenated. Right. Yeah, they shouldn't be concatenated. They should be separate thing. Okay, I see that. I see that now. So let me see what we can do in here. So I don't know why I thought that they has to be concatenated. So I think I'm an idiot. But can I join the lists in Python? Or maybe flatten list. If you know what I mean. How to flatten list of lists. How can I flatten list of lists? Flatten list of lists. So there's no operation just to flatten. Seriously? You can't just flatten the list. I'm disappointed. Do I really need to concatenate it? Disgusting language. Holy shit. Okay. All right. So that means I really have to concatenate them. Like there's no just way to, you know, flatten them out. There's just no way to flatten it out. It is what it is. It's unsolved computer science problem. So it's not plus plus, it's just like a regular plus. Okay, so we do that, then we do that, and then we do that, and hopefully that's precisely what we wanted to have in here. And chunk 0 is still not a thing. What am I missing, by the way? So one more time. I think I need to make a small break, boys and girls. I think I need to make a small break. So hello everyone, how are you guys doing? It's me, Mario. Oh. So I don't know what the fuck is going on, to be fair. Maybe I just don't understand how FFmpeg works. So I remember actually concatenating the videos by using like this separate file thingy. So maybe I should just try to do that first, right, and see if it's gonna work for me. All right, I just wanna like find all of these things in here. I'm gonna find and grab MP4, and maybe I'm gonna save all of that into my list txt. Right, there we go. I have my list. And then if I don't need to add that to the list, but what I need to do here, I just need to add file like this, and at the end, somewhere like that, something like this. Right, can I now try to do that? So maybe we're gonna end up actually generating that file, because it feels like it's a little bit easier to work with. So, and it concatenates everything. So maybe we can move my list to our list. Key combat. It's not my list. It's our list. WAV? The fuck is wrong with me? So it's probably, yeah, I just copy pasted an example. Nice one. FFmpeg. So I actually meant MP4, so that maybe will take a little bit longer. So yeah, no monotone DTS in output stream. I don't know. I don't care. If it will produce like a watchable video, I'm gonna be 100% happy. And it actually handles all that with like thousands of FPSs. Yeah, it's not plural, right? It's thousands of FPS. A speed, 100 speed. Speed, violence, bitrate. Force in CG. Okay, so it's taking a little bit more time because it's actually like you know, copying the frames of the video. So in the final video, where's the output? Output MP4. So it ended up to be half of that video. Okay, so I recorded this video on the stream, and apparently half of the stream I wasn't actually doing the garbage collection development. Nice. So yeah, all right, it is what it is. Let's take a look at the video itself. So output MP4, VLC output MP4. All right, so let's apply the knowledge that we gained to the actual code in here, right? Okay, so yeah, I guess that's it for today. Thanks everyone who's watching right now. I really appreciate it. I think we skipped shuffle. I didn't think it's shuffled. It would be actually funny if it was shuffled, but I don't think it's shuffled. I think we skipped something, but I'm not 100% sure. So if I take a look at my list, well, I think I should stop the stream because holy shit, I'm I'm making such a stupid mistakes. All right, so another one. One more time. One more time. Zozin, have you heard about dash Y? You have to use dash Y. Zozin. Minus Y. Why don't you use that? Wah! Yeah. Oh my god. Thank you. Thank you so much for 2 years of tier 1 subscription. Thank you so much. 2 years of tier 1 subscription. And welcome to our epic Python club. That's pretty epic. How are you doing? Welcome. We're having a little bit of fun in here, as you can see. So just like, yeah. Python club. Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh shit, I'm sorry. Actually, what I'm doing is just like I'm running FFmpeg from Python to automatically just edit out videos. Stupid mistakes, man. Make so many stupid mistakes when I screen sharing with my team lead and fellow devs. I swear they must think I'm incompetent. Well, to be fair, they also do the same mistakes, so I don't think they actually judge you. Turkish RTZ, thank you so much for the Prime subscription. Thank you. I hope I didn't miss any subscriptions because, yeah, I definitely missed a lot of them because Streamlabs thingy sucks. If I missed any donations or subscriptions, I really apologize for that. Thank you so much. Okay, what's funny is that the maybe there's something with my filters. Yeah, okay, sometimes it shows subscriptions, sometimes it doesn't show them. Like, I don't know what's the logic in here. It's a horrible platform. Hotspots, thank you so much for 15 months of tier 1 subscription. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And welcome to our epic Python club. Oh. Yes. That's true. I see. Also, keep in mind that when you're screen sharing, you also have added stress, right? So, and because of that, like it's like a performance anxiety, and because of that, you make more mistakes than usual. So, yeah. So you also have to keep that in mind. It's like a coding interview. So in a coding interview, you always perform worse than without the stress of being constantly observed when you work, right? Oh shit, somebody donated $5.
Back Sodin Pok.
Sodin, I didn't see, and okay, back Sodin Pok. Yes, I'm back. To back. Champion of the arena. Back. Alright. This sounds like a Bang compiler, you know, because it has double C at the end, and usually double C is associated with a C compiler. Back has to be a C compiler that compiles to BM bytecode. Yes. Well, maybe it has to be like BCC, I don't know. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. It is Russian TTS, by the way. It is Russian. They just changed it. It was Russian, actually. Okay, donate something with Russian letters to see if it's Russian or not. Wink, wink. Let me see. Let's continue working on this stuff. We are generating. Okay, what I wanted to see is whether we generated things properly. Okay. Hello. And welcome to another Zodin session. How about that? I bet you didn't expect that shit to happen, huh? Today is Saturday, and that means today... Okay, cool. So, it's even not 2 hours. God damn. God damn. Alright, what about the last one? With GCC. So, yeah, that's basically the limitations of this garbage collector. Okay, I guess that's it for today. Thanks everyone who's watching me right now. I really appreciate it. Have a good one, and I see you on the next coding session. We see you in the next question. Love you all. Mwah. Mwah. Okay. So I guess like I can just grab this video and upload it to YouTube at this point. I can just grab it and upload it to YouTube. But I kind of want to finish this entire stuff, right? So I better like generate everything appropriately. So here we have argparse. Maybe I need to put that argparse somewhere here. Yep. So I also, these are very long command line arguments. They're very long. Can I actually make them a little bit shorter? Like so. So we can do something like this. So this is going to be a separate. For each argument, we're going to have a separate line. Yesu. Kawai desu. How do you use Vim? Alright, I don't know how to use Vim, I'm sorry. Maybe for that thing as well, we can use a separate line. Look at that, look at that. It looks perfect. It looks beautiful. Okay. Alrighty. So this is gonna be that stuff, and a boom. Okay. This one is a little bit controversial, I would say. How the fuck do I organize that? I remember somebody in the chat actually mentioned something that looks like a spread syntax. I remember some random viewer in the chat mentioning something like that. Object spread operator in Python. So let's see. So okay, let me try to experiment with this shit in a separate thingy. So imagine that I have this kind of stuff, right? So it looks like this, but then I have something like internal, right? Can I spread this thing like that? I can. Okay. Oh, all right. There is like. Okay. That's perfect. That is actually, in fact, super perfect. All right. So this is going to be like this, and that means I can just connect this entire stuff like that. Thank you, random viewer in the chat. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you. I don't remember your name. I don't know who you are, but I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. You will not be forgotten. You will not be forgotten. Okay. So now this is going to be a 4. Look at that. It looks way better now, doesn't it? I think it looks way better. So load ts from file, ffmpeg concat chunks. We need to do something like ffmpeg generate concat list, right? So we need to do chunk names, and this is going to be output path, right? So this is where we're going to be generating all of that. And I suppose I need to open output path for writing, right? So I need to open it for writing as f, and then I'm going to be iterating through each individual chunk in names, in chunk names rather, right? Chunk names, and I think this is how we do that. You do fwrite, Python write to file. W3 School, my favorite website of all time. I actually learned so much in it, it's insane. Does write adds a new line? I don't know if it adds a new line. I wish I knew. So one of the things we can try to do, can I just take a look at the documentation of this thing by doing the following thing? Help open open vimrc, right? So open it for you know, for reading, right? And then I'm gonna do write, and then I can get the help. Okay. Write string to string returns the number of character, which is always equal to the length of string. Okay, so I suppose it doesn't add the new line, so we're gonna assume that it doesn't do that. And in here we're gonna be doing something like this, right? $1 from Chom, and I can't see shit in this mist. Oh, I'm sorry, I actually disabled TTS for donations lower than 10 or maybe lower than 5. Yeah. I'm sorry. Oh, I mean, that's how you stream, I suppose. I forgot, I'm sorry. So yeah, let's continue. Thank you so much for $1. So it says debated donation, but actually this TTS really is Russian babushka voice. Okay, this is literally what he wrote in Cyrillic. Debated donation, but actually this TTS really is Russian babushka voice. It's not Russian actually. It's literally English translated in Cyrillic. So he comments. It's actually pretty cool. Did you do that yourself? Did you utilize your epic Cyrillic knowledge? Okay, this is gonna be file, and we're gonna do something like this. It's gonna be a name, and I suppose we have to put a new line in here. All right. ffmpeg generate concat files. So we have chunk names, and in here I'm gonna do ffmpeg generate concat files, chunk names. Here are chunk names and list txt. Let's call it our list txt. Okay. Markut. So I'm gonna remove all of the txt files. So I'm gonna grep txt, and I'm gonna just remove my list txt. There we go. All right. So Markut. Do I have that in history? Unfortunately, I don't have that in a history, so I have to do it like this. Download CSS, input is going to be this, the delay is going to be 4, and let's see what's going to happen. So it should have generated our list, and here's our list. Okay, the our list was generated perfectly. So after that, I might want to update this function. So instead of accepting chunk names, it should accept the our list thingy, right? So it's going to be our list txt. So yeah, let's just call that. I was thinking to actually put it into a separate variable, but maybe, yeah, maybe I'm going to do that. Our list path. So it's going to be our list txt. There we go. And can I just replace super quick our list txt with our list path gc? Boom, boom, there we go. Can your Emacs do that? I don't fucking think so. Our list. So I remember that you could quickly find, oh, whatever, concat chunks. So this is a chunk names list path, right? So this is a list path. And in here, we're going to be doing just like this list path. All right, so this is a list path. Let's see if it's going to work or not. And let me take a look. So yeah, I'm going to keep generating the thing. And okay, already exists. All right. Cool, it seems to be working. So now I want to kind of combine all of that stuff together, right? So essentially the first thing we're going to be doing, we're going to be generating the chunks, right? We're going to be generating the chunks. And then we're going to be concatenating all of that together. All right, so it's going to be like that, like that, like that. And boom, boom, boom. So our list, this is kind of sus. I don't understand what the hell is going on in here. Yeah, okay, suppose our list has to be something like this, right? And let's just put it like that. All right, I think this is a final script, believe it or not. I do believe this is a final script. And we can finally test it. So let's remove all of the garbage. Let's remove all of the chunks. Right, so we don't have any chunks anymore. Let's remove all of the files. How many files do we have in here? So it's going to be grep.txt, and I'm going to just remove our list.txt. So initially you have your raw WOT file, the size of which is 4 gigabytes. And also you have a CSV file with the timestamps. We have a script that accepts 3 things. It accepts first the CSV file, then the WOD, and the delay within the WOD. So the first thing it will do, it will cut everything into chunks according to the CSV file. Then it's going to concatenate all of the chunks into final video that you can that I can then upload to the YouTube. So let's give it a try. So let me see. So do I have enough space? Okay, so I have 14 gigabytes, which is nice. There we go. So first we're cutting everything into pieces. So we can actually try to observe what's going on in the file system as we go. So it's going to be something like watch, and this thing is going to be updating every 2 seconds. Maybe we can actually set the delay of this thing to be 1 second. Yeah, so it's going to be, I don't know if it actually set. Oh, it's a difference. It shows the difference. I don't think it's a good thing to do. I think it's 1. Yeah. All right, look at that. So it is growing. The sizes of the chunks growing. So we're splitting into the chunks now, according to the CSV file. According to the CSV file. So it takes some time, but eventually we're going to do that. Growing. So we should have like 5 chunks in there. All right, the next chunk. The 4th chunk, we only have 5 of them, so it's a 4th one. It is actually way faster than if it would try to re-encode each individual frame. Right, if it tries to re-encode each individual frame, oh yeah, there we go. Zojin, do you know about dash y? Do you know about dash y? Oh. And now it actually finally renders the final output.mp4. So yeah, if we add a minus, like a minus y, I can probably will be able to run it on some like virtual server or something. It will be also kind of cool to automate downloading of the VODs and their marks. Holy shit! And then also automate uploading it to YouTube. This is so cool. I can automate the entire process completely. Like, yeah. So I can at some point will be able to just tell the system, take that VOD, and the VOD also contains the markers associated with the VOD, and cut it out, concatenate everything, and upload it to YouTube. I think it should be doable. Yeah, it should be doable. I think I'm gonna do that. So that's pretty cool. Automation of our nation. You can automatically wait 24 hours before uploading. Probably. Yeah. But I'd like to upload at the same time. Right. I like to upload at the same time. So I want to like have a schedule at which I'm always uploading the VODs. So it's usually 10 p.m. of Novosibirsk time. That's illegal. No, it's fine. If I like basically I need to time my streams so when I upload it at 10 p.m. next day, it's gonna be 24 hours already. So that's what I have to do. So it doesn't really, violate anything if I plan everything correctly. Okay, so the final thing here is output MP4, and let's take a look at it. So output MP4. Hello. And welcome to another Zojin session. How about that? We shouldn't expect that shit to happen, huh? Today is Saturday, and that means today. So implement. So yeah, I guess that's it for today. Thanks everyone who's watching right now. I really appreciate it. Have a good one, and I see you on the next coding session. I see you on the next question. Love you all. Mwah. Mwah. Okay, so that's pretty cool. I guess now I want to put something like git ignore. Right, and I want to ignore a bunch of things in here, specifically MP4 and CSV, and I'm gonna git init this entire thing. Let's take a look at the garbage we have. Thumbnail. Oh, okay. All of this stuff is not needed. I can remove thumbnail, Twitch MD, output wave. Yeah, so all of that can be removed. And speaking of status, our list also can be git ignored. So the txt stuff, right? The txt stuff. So the only thing we're gonna have in here, committed, is the script itself. So I also want to put a license in here. Oh yeah, it will be actually way easier with Emacs. So let me actually open it in Emacs license. Nice startup speed, Emacs. All right, so this is going to be that. Readme MD. I don't know what to say in here. Let me take a look at my gist that I put in here. So I might as well actually steal the explanation from the gist. Didn't I click on the gist? Oh yeah, I clicked. It's just like everything is slow right now for some reason. Oh yeah, this entire thing utilized like majority of my resources. So given the vote, so I can just copy paste this entire thing. Markut. Yes. Quick start. Console. And it's gonna be markut pi. C. Marks. CSV input VOD MP4 D4. There we go. So that's basically the quick start. Yeah. Very funny. All right. Ready, set, go, mother flipper. Auto cut the Twitch VODs based on marks. They're called markers, right? Based on markers. Yeah, they're called markers. Okay. So this one is going to be public, and I'm going to just put it in here. Among Us music. Okay, so we're gonna just push that. This music is sus, not gonna lie. All right, get that shit from here, give it a star. My god, isn't that epic? I think it's goddamn fucking epic. Look at that art. This art deserves a fucking star, so give it a star. Give it 2 stars if you can. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, now I can quite easily edit my VODs, and maybe the Tsoding sessions, like Tsoding, a fly session, are gonna be on Twitch. So later I can easily cut them and upload it to YouTube. I don't know, I haven't decided yet, but this thing is useful. You know what would be also cool? You can actually run each FFmpeg cut chunk in a separate thread, right? Not necessarily in a separate thread. I think you can run subprocess like asynchronously. And what we can do in here, essentially, instead of like for loop in here, we can use list comprehension and just spawn a bunch of separate processes and collect their handles into a list, and then sort of put a barrier on all of them, just basically wait until all of these processes has finished. And that way you extract each individual chunk in parallel. Right, so this is one of the things we can try to do at some point, but we're gonna do that next time. All right, so yeah, that's it for today, boys and girls. Thanks everyone who's watching right now. I really appreciate it. Have a good one, and I see you all. I don't know when I'm gonna see you all, so to be fair, I don't really want to stream very often because stream burns me out really very quickly. So I don't know, we'll see. In any case, check out the source code of this thing. Also check out the VODs channel where I'm doing the offline sessions where I develop my main projects like programming language and also Emote Jam and stuff like that. So subscribe to that channel for sure. And I haven't said that phrase for a while. Let's maybe raid somebody. I haven't raided people for quite some time. So, is there anyone who's doing anything interesting on this goddamn platform? Holy fucking shit. Just use fire extinguisher, yeah. Easy. Pajlada is doing, is he doing like programming? I'm down to raid Pajlada. So, if he's doing programming and shit. I'm just still waiting for the website to load up. Come on, man. Show me what Pajlada is doing. Programming. Okay, so we're ready in Pajlada. Pajlada. There we go. All right. Get ready for the raid. And I see you all next time. Love you all.